welcome to CosmoMuse Tarot. Today we've got another Friday Insight answering your yes, no, maybe questions. And we've got 4 piles here to choose from. Before I go through them, just a reminder and a note if you haven't been here before, that to make sure that interpretation is as clear as can be for you, as well as for how I'm interpreting. The way you phrase your question, do it so that getting the yes outcome would be positive to you, would feel positive. Okay, so pile 1, we've got a blue calcified coral. Whoops. If you hear my dog snoring in the background, he's taking a little nap next to me. Pile 2, we've got an opalite. Pile 3 is blue Orca agate. Pile 4 is a raw clear crystal quartz. All right, for those of you that like the breath work I do to help you get into a good space for tuning into which pile is right for your question, we'll get into that now. If you have your own methods, you can pause here and do what you need to choose your pile. Okay, so place your feet firmly on the ground. Feel the support and stability underneath you. And then take a deep embodied breath into that, really expand into your body's weight, into the grounding of it. And then exhale. This time take another deep breath, and this time suck that air up, up, up into the space between your brows. Hold that. Suck in a little bit more to add pressure. And then out loud, exhale, opening your crown chakra. And then gaze over these 4 piles, the stones, and ask which one is the most accurate one for your question. All right, I will see you guys in your readings. The timestamps are in the descriptions. Hello, pile 1. Welcome to your Friday Insight, yes, no, maybe reading. Okay, so you guys picked this calcified blue coral, and feeling into this stone and your cards as I was shuffling and drawing, just a quick and intuitive hit before we get to the cards was just sort of like something very light and airy here, easygoing, not in like a ditzy way, just in like an easiness being felt, a lightness being felt. So it's not necessarily tapping into the answer, but yeah, it might help you to decide if this feels like the energy around you or your question right now. But I do get the sense that no matter what the answer is, the reading turns out to be, there is just like something positive flowing through here, either way, however this goes. Okay, so we're going to look at your tarot cards to tease out that actual yes, no, maybe. I'm seeing the end of a phase coming through here. This is a maybe, and I think that that is because it depends on what you are asking about. If you're asking about something new that is being felt, some sort of spark, some idea, something that's still more in like a conceptual phase, or like a possibility, I would put that maybe meter more towards the yes. If you're asking about like holding on to something or something that has a lot of baggage or history in it, this is saying like this is coming to a close and something better is about to emerge, something that will make you feel more fulfilled, that will make you feel lit up, and like your energy is in a more regenerative, powerful place. And it could be sort of like whatever phase you're coming out of, I think it's had you slightly stuck for whatever reason. It's like there's been too much sort of listening to others or obeying others, or being influenced sort of by parents or authorities or culture. Yeah, just something here where it's like you've been trying to do things the right way, or do things through specific guidance. It could even be as not necessarily that kind of hierarchical thing going on in terms of like, well, I have these expectations, but it might be like you're trying to do things too much so by the book. Or this phase you're coming out of, like you were really following the right order, or the right, doing things by the book, or doing it how others are doing it, and through how you were taught to do it or guided to do it. And there was something about that where I think something about that has created kind of some stuck gears, I think, in whatever this question pertains to. But wherever you are going, so whether this, going back to that meter, because I'm putting this in the maybe section, depending on what you asked, that, if this is a question about something that's already present and has sort of history behind it, it's like this thing is stuck and you need to look towards the future, because something else is coming that's really going to free you to be you, to detach and detangle and shed certain overlays. And yeah, if this is about something new coming, some idea, some inspiration, a thought, a spark, this is like, yeah, this is whatever this question is about. If it's that, it will take you out of this phase. There's a big yes for that it will take you out of some sort of phase that's been a little bit stagnant, a little bit depressed, a little bit quicksandy. And it's like, yeah, if your question is about something new, something fresh, then it's like, yes, please, please, please go towards that. It's really gonna unhook you from whatever you've been stuck in or moving very slowly through or trying to figure out. It's like, no, just detach and go forward with whatever the new thing is. Okay, let's look at your astrology. We've got Pisces with Sensitize, Chiron with Heal, and Aries as Act. And Aries is the first sign of the Zodiac. It's the threshold. It's the new beginning. And this is, again, just saying like, the past cycle, whatever you may be coming out of, isn't all for naught. Even though you may be feeling some sort of disappointment in how things have gone with what you may be moving out of, or what you should be moving out of, it's not all for naught. There was a lot of healing that took place in this. I think you had to kind of go through the mud, sort of like a lotus flower, to really understand where things were kind of stuck for you, where things weren't turning the way they should, where you were trying to follow some formula or guidebook or guidance Yeah, and it's like I think that you've sort of seen the light, and you're starting to. I really do think you've done some healing by going through that, by really, really looking at what's underneath the way you've been doing things, or why you've hung in around some cycle you're coming out of for so long. It's like you couldn't have gotten out any sooner, because you really had to see the shadows of this. You really had to see the nuances and the subtlety, this, to develop a certain sensitivity, to really see things, see through certain illusions, which has brought some healing. But now it's time to move forward to the new. It's time to take action on anything new being felt, any new spark, new impulse, new passion starting to rise. It's like really time to connect to that, to follow to that, and to sort of walk towards any new thresholds. There's something about to take off with in relation to that. Okay, let's look at your oracle cards. Manipura. Yeah, wherever you are going, it's like the sun is going to come out. You're going to feel so much more aligned. So even if this feels like that, going from that maybe where I've put this reading, and you're asking about something that has history, so even if that goes towards the no because of that for you, it's still saying that despite that no, there is a new thing coming, and it's going to be so much more aligned, and it's really going to have you connect much better to your confidence, your willpower, to clarity, to movement. Yeah, so it's, yeah. And if you're asking a question about something new, this is just confirmation of like, this is so bright and beautiful for you. And then we have chaos and conflict. And I feel like that's what you're moving out of, moving away from. And look at this. This zebra is painted like a giraffe texture would be painted, but it's a zebra. It's like you've been doing things in a certain way. It's almost like, in the Jungle Book where Mowgli is raised by the wolves, or was it wolves? I think it was wolves. And he was enculturated to act and behave like the wolves, but he had to, at the end, wake up and see that he was a human boy, not a wild animal, and had to kind of shed that wolf layer. And it doesn't mean that you can't still, that he didn't still learn a lot, and that didn't necessarily, that it didn't inform who he's going to still become. There's still that, beautiful things we can gain by going through things that are, not exactly what we are going to grow up to be. But this is saying that the paint is coming off, the layers, the overlays are starting to already peel off of you, of anything that isn't your real, authentic, who you are. And you're starting to strip down to your true colors and really embracing that. And it's time to move towards that and act on that and embrace it and love it. And I think it's going to feel really good to you. Okay, to end, we've got box. You will receive a gift. And barrel, you feel something is lacking in your life, perhaps love, money, or goals. And I almost want to switch places. I feel like this is where you are. Something's lacking because you haven't been in your true colors. You may not have even understood what your true colors are or were underneath a certain overlay, but it's like you're getting it. And it's not that something necessarily was lacking. It was just like you're missing some key information of really understanding deeply who you are outside of what you've been influenced or taught to be or do. And as that layer comes off and as you move towards your kind of raw, instinctual, biological impulses coming through, it's like then, you know, you're really going to see life turn into a gift. And that's what I think the receiving a gift is like life will suddenly feel like a gift. You will feel like a gift to yourself. Because you're like, oh, this is me. This is, you know, these are my true colors. This is how I want to do things. This is, you know, I have my own way of being and doing, and it's just, you know, it's not bad the other ways, or maybe what's you're needing to kind of shed. They weren't bad, they just weren't you. And all the better that you know, you always can learn things, and there's maybe things you can cherry pick to take from what you were kind of, however this question may have been enculturated or influenced before, there's probably some beautiful things you can take from that and lessons you've learned, but it's time to just take the overlays off and be like, okay, but actually I'm a zebra. I'm not a zebra in a giraffe pattern, you know? So yeah, beautiful. That is where I'm going to leave you guys. So it's this question, just to reiterate, it's a maybe, but there is a sway to a no or a yes, depending on how, you know, what your question was about, which I hope I explained well enough there. But the bottom line here, no matter if you got a yes or a no, is saying that there is something coming though, that is much more alive and aligned in you. Okay, this is where I'm going to leave you guys. If this resonated, I always appreciate the thumbs up. Kind and thoughtful comments are always something I'm grateful for, and definitely subscriptions if you are not yet subscribed. All right, I'll see you guys in another reading. Hello, Pile 2. Welcome to your Friday Insight with yes, no, maybe question. So just an intuitive hit before we get into your cards that I got from your stone was like, I kept feeling sort of like this, I'm trying to use the right words because it was more of a sensation than something articulated. It was like low, under something, or like down. And so my mind went to the word depressed, and my body was like, no, that's not it. It's not depressed. And then from that, I was able to kind of like feel in relation to depressed what it was trying to say. And it was like something's obscured here. Like there's something hidden, something like a missing information. So it's like something's feeling sort of kept not down like on purpose, but like something's this came as such a kinesthetic thing. It's hard to put words to it. It's like something's struggling to take flight or get on its feet because there's like either a missing key or something like purposely hidden, and I don't know that if that's on your side or something you're needing that's sort of, yeah, I don't know. Let's get into the cards though and see if we can tease out what that means. And it certainly doesn't mean a no here. It's just like an interesting energy that came through. Okay, so we're going to look at the tarot cards on this top row to tease out that yes, no, maybe. So Page of Emotions is a beautiful card. 10 of Materials reversed. And 5 of Voices reversed. I'm going to take these reverse cards as those things that might be like obscure right now. Yeah, I'm feeling like it's like a group of people or an industry it feels more like a collective, and in that light it's hard to imagine that like a collective is purposely keeping sort of like information, but there's something obscure about a group, about an industry, about some sort of collective that yeah, it's like it's not making sense right now. And it's sort of like if you could make sense of it, if there's some way you could make sense of something here, you would be able to get the traction you need to kind of move forward to, I feel like this is like the end goal, like what's wanted. You'd find the keys, what you're needing to finally sort of like move things, to generate movement is what I'm feeling, to generate productivity, purpose, movement, something in that vein. And I'm landing on a maybe here because this page of emotions is saying that like, you, like in some ways, it's like you're a little out of your depth. There's like a, I don't want to say a naivety that like you're a naive person, but it's like you're coming in with sort of either as a beginner in something or youthful in something, and it's like you have all the hope in the world, and it's like, why can't this move forward? And it's because there's these things, it's like you don't have the keys yet. You haven't been given the, I don't know why that's come to me. It's like you haven't been given the keys yet. You haven't found the information you need yet. It's like keep looking. And what's coming through here is like, don't see your kind of beginnerness or your naivety around this as a detriment, because there is beginner's luck to be had here, and there's an immense amount of intelligence and dynamism and intuitive purity here. It's like you just really need to trust yourself. You need to just continue to follow your heart, even though you may be feeling like you're like hitting a brick wall of sorts. And so the maybe is like if you put in the work, you can turn this into a yes. You can find your way into the group needed, the industry needed. There is a way in here. There is a way towards a yes here. And just stay curious. Just stay connected to being led by your heart and by your purity and by your curiosity. I think each of these cards, even though the two of these were upside down, have this same sort of burst of brightness coming out of it. And it's saying that like this is possible, stick with it. You will get your yes if you can stick with it. You will get your inroad is what I'm feeling like. You need some sort of inroad that hasn't been open to you yet, and so it's been hard to know how to move something, how to create a certain rhythm or system or purpose that you feel could be so big for this question. And it can be, you just need to keep asking, you need to stay curious, you need to ask questions, you need to get more entangled, move more into the world, and just continue to trust yourself. I think that inroad will open to you. You just need to find the right concoction of things. Yeah, okay, let's look at your astrology. You've got ascendant, entrance. Yeah, the inroad, the entrance. That's what we're looking for here. And then we've got Capricorn, so this may have something to do with career or mastery or aspiration of some sort. And 5th house, passion. You need to show, like, really be courageous about showing your heart and your creativity. I think it's very unique. I think it's very fresh and refreshing, but you have to like show it. You have to have the courage to put it out there. And if you do, you will be seen. You will be noticed. Like, you're not being noticed right now, or something about your question is not being noticed right now. But if you can have the courage to put your creativity, put your heart, put your ideas, your whatever it is out there, it's like you will be noticed. The inroad will be granted, and you'll turn these things up, right side up, and you'll find sort of that rhythm, that system, and that purpose that just really kind of help your life and help whatever it is around this question find that kind of movement and blossoming fruitfulness that I think you feel it could have. Okay, let's look at your oracle cards. You've got void. I feel like that's where this question feels right now. Like, it's like, yeah, it's like something's missing, some inroad, some information, some access is like so obscure to you right now. But just stay present, follow your curiosity and follow your heart, and you will find that thing that takes you out of the void, out of something feeling obscure here. Flexible, stay malleable, stay open-minded. Notice where the wind is blowing, where messages are drawing you, where information, and be open-minded, be curious. Yeah, it's like, don't get fixed in anything right now, because I think when you find certain keys and information needed or access needed, I think you might have to be a little bit flexible to have that entrance kind of really granted. And it's not like changing yourself, but it's like cooperating a little bit, being a little bit fluid in some way. And I think that will vary depending on, who you are and what your questions are. Okay, broken ring, parting of the ways in either romance or business. Interesting. And angel, spiritual guidance, protection from harm. Yeah, I mean, maybe something that's made it hard for you. What I'm feeling like, it's like been hard for you to really showcase something about this question in terms of what your heart wants to show. It's like maybe there's been a disappointment or failures or something in the past. And maybe for some of you, even a relationship that's kind of got you down, struggling to kind of focus on whatever your question's about because of like a broken heart. But I think for a lot of you, this is more having to do with like disappointment in your heart because of past efforts, or because you're like frustrated by not being able to figure out how to move this question forward. It's like that's made your heart feel heavy. And it's just saying, like, stay curious, put your heart out there, move things, be a little bit flexible and fluid. And there are guides trying to both protect you and guide you. So listen to those synchronicities. Put yourself out there, though. Put yourself out there more. You are being protected and guided in this, so you need to find your courage to shine for what you have, and not be intimidated by feeling like you're too much of a novice in some way. It's actually going to be the asset that gets you access, or that gets this question moving. So just be courageous and bold about that. Follow your heart, follow those little guidances that are trying to push you, but you know that they're also protecting you in that pushing. So yeah, so this is where I'm going to leave you. Just to reiterate, it is a maybe here, but everything you have or need to, everything you need to get a yes is there, but it's requiring you to step into your courage and your braveness and just keep going is the thing. Okay, this is where I'm going to leave you guys. If this reading resonated, I always appreciate all the little things, the thumbs up, kind and thoughtful comments are always something I'm grateful for. And definitely, if you are not yet subscribed, please do so. All right, I will see you guys in future readings. Hello, Pile 3. Welcome to your Friday Insight for your yes, no, maybe questions. You guys picked this blue Orca Agate. And just some intuitive insight before we get to the cards. Feeling into your group, tuning into its stone, and how sort of drawing and shuffling your cards went is I just got this overwhelming feeling of like this magical power. It's either around your question specifically, or it could be your general sort of energy, but it was like there's so much, I just felt like a lot of depth and power, and like almost like you already know. I almost feel like the people drawn to this pile or even this reading, it was almost like a fluke or something, like you were just following guidance. You weren't necessarily seeking it. It kind of somehow came to you, because I already think you know for the most part like what you need to know about this question, but maybe there's like just some little key spirit is dropping in for you here. Yeah, I just felt like this kind of oracle quality or sorcerer kind of quality around you, like you already know, and you already, there's like already sort of like a magic and an empowerment here, but there might just be some kind of little hidden key message that comes through here for you guys. So I'm definitely doing my best to just like totally surrender to spirit, and so we'll even see if this comes out as a yes no. This is very weird. Okay, so we're gonna look at this top row to get sort of insight into that yes no maybe and why that is. So we've got Knight of Voices in reverse, Strength in reverse, and the Magician in reverse. So all reverse energy. And I love seeing the Magician show up, because that feels, you kind of feel like this concoction. Either your question or you feel like this concoction of Strength and Magician. And so maybe there's something about this Knight of Voices that you're needing to, like a key, a little piece of information is needed to sort of help you make sense of your question. And it's like the reverseness of all of this is, to me, it's like, you know, this being your energy, it's like you're down looking, down in the depths of things for the key, for the answer to whatever this Knight of Voices, some information either by a person is needed or about a person is needed. And I'm actually going to flip over, I'm just going with what I'm being guided to do, because I'm not getting like the yes no maybe here, I'm just getting like information. I feel like this is a question, yeah, either about a person or information that would come through this type of character, a Knight of Voices character, someone who's really bravely and excitingly like intelligent and vocal and magnificent to watch, or listen to, or yeah, something about that, but there's something you need from them or need to understand about them that is like key to this yes, no, maybe for you, that will turn your energy from down in this kind of seeking quality into upright, into like action quality or clarity quality. So let's look at the card directly underneath this figure to see if that clarifies anything about what's needed here. Progressions and journey. Whoever this person might be, and it can be male, female, it doesn't matter. Don't let the night thing make you feel like it has to be a male presence. It's just someone who's, something about someone that's exciting. I feel like it's like they're not, what is sort of coming through is like the timing isn't right yet. That's why something's, why some little key is not, it's like here's the thing, is like, I think you already have the key, you already know the things, like I have that oracle sense about you. And it's like you have the key to put in the door around this question, but it's not turning because that door, it's like it needs both the key and the timing to be correct. And so it's just like, hold your horses. That's funny that came through, because there is, I mean, it's technically I think a Pegasus in this, but that came through really clearly, like hold your horses. Like the timing is not right yet. When something about this person becomes clear, or they come into your life, or they notice you, or yeah, whatever it is for you, if you're not relating to this type of character in your life, it's like they're coming. Or if they are here and you're confused about them, it's just like, just hold, like what you're needing to understand is coming, you'll get it. But this is a timing question around, or thing around your question. And in that regard, because there's timing involved, I don't think that we're going to get, this is going to be a maybe, because I think it's going to be different for each of you, that yes, no aspect. But you'll know when you know, and it is coming, and you just have to be patient. It's on its way. It's part of the journey you are on. It's going to progress. What is clear and yes here is that you will get your answer. It is coming, and it's coming quickly. Like I'm looking at this clock thing on here, and let's see, whatever makes sense to you, it's either 2 days away, 2 weeks away, or 2 months away for you getting that timing to be able to turn the key and get your answer. So 2 days, 2 weeks, or 2 months, whatever resonates to you. And I'm not feeling the need to clarify that, because I think it's different for each of you. Let's get a little more information from these cards here. So we've got debilitated, discomfort, and I think that's where you're sitting, and it's just like, sit in the discomfort. It's okay. The answer's coming. This is a fated part of your journey to get your answer. It's just like, sit in your discomfort. And what I do feel coming is whatever the answer, yes or no, you will find purpose in it. You will find something productive and fruitful about that answer. And there will be gains. There will be stuff to gain. Even if it's a no for you, there will be, you will connect, you will digest whatever the answer is in a really beautiful, mature way, and you will reap the benefits there are to reap, whether it is a yes or a no. And I do think that it will connect you to, a lot of purpose or some sort of productivity, some sort of harvest coming in. Yeah, so there is that. Okay, let's look at your oracle cards. Solar. I'm just feeling called to say through this, it's like you're in alignment, you're on the right track, so just keep going. You are on the right path, the right track, so if that even helps answer aspects of your question, it's like you're on the right track. So, and then enchanting gifts, beautiful. And I feel that very connected to this Virgo energy, that is like, whatever your answer ends up being, it's still going to, you're still going to reap rewards, even if it doesn't turn out in the yes you're hoping for. It's going to be, other yeses will come if the yes you're seeking right now doesn't. And whatever comes will feel enchanting, and it will feel like gifts, and it will feel bountiful and magical and mysterious and unexpected. I think whatever actually does come with your answer is going to feel a little unexpected. Yeah, okay, let's look at 4-leaf clover, great good fortune. Yeah, so even if it ends up being a no to what you're asking, whatever results is going to be better than what you had hoped for. And if it is a yes for you, that yes is going to be so much greater than you anticipated. Then Ram, a stubborn, aggressive person. I feel like this is this Knight of Voice person that's in reverse right now. And that might be this discomfort thing. You're having to sit in some discomfort around something about that. But it's like that will dissipate. I think whatever's coming, it's just like you have to kind of endure this for a moment. This something around this person, whether they've entered yet or not. They might be stubborn and a bit aggressive, like a knight might be, but they do hold some sort of key. Their presence is part of the journey you're supposed to be on. You're still on the right path. Sit in that discomfort, be mature about it, and that you already have a key and you're just waiting for the timing, and that will unlock something really beautiful coming through, whether it's what you're expecting or not. And even if it is what you're expecting, it will be much better and greater. Okay, so this is where I'm going to leave you guys. If this resonated, I always appreciate those things, the thumbs up, little comments, and definitely subscribe if you're not yet. All right, see you guys. Hello, Pile 4. Welcome to your Friday Insight. Yes, no, maybe questions. You guys picked this raw, clear crystal quartz. And before we jump into the cards, I love to give a little intuitive insight into just how I've been feeling when I tune into your group, your stone, how the card drawing went. And you guys, I don't know if it's like an overall energy around you, or if this really specifically pertains to your question, and it might be different for each of you in this way, but like it felt so I don't know. Hopefully I can get the right words out for this. I loved the energy and it made me laugh because I feel like I've felt this a lot in my own life, so I probably have a lot to say about it, but I need to distill it. Anyway, I just got this feeling that it's like you're doing your own thing, kind of that marching to the beat of your own drum thing. Whereas sometimes when people do that and then they realize that people are looking at them weird or like, what the hell are you doing? They'll kind of reel it in. And it's like for you, you're aware of that people are like, what the hell are you doing? And you're just like, like, you either get it or you don't. I don't care, kind of thing. Like, I'm still going to do what I'm going to do because this is what I love or who I am. Or maybe it's just around this question and you're just like, yeah, I mean, I don't care what you think. This is what I'm doing. This is my beat, or this is this thing's beat that I'm asking about. And just like some insight, and I don't get the feeling that you need this insight, but I think it's interesting insight if you've never thought about it, that it's like projections people may be putting on you because they don't understand you are based on that inexperience with, so as an example, in Western modern society, there are a gazillion doctors. We probably have been to many types of doctors. We probably know some doctors, some of us in our personal lives, and we've definitely seen them portrayed in media constantly and heard interviews and all sorts of things. And so there's a huge array of doctor figures out there that makes that a very broad kind of archetype to step into, like any type of person you could see in a doctor role, because we've seen so many doctors. But if you are someone who is a clown, maybe as a child you saw one live. I don't know that I did, but I would guess a lot of kids have probably seen one live at some point. But as a little kid, or maybe if you're a parent, you've taken, or an aunt or an uncle, you've taken your child or your niece or nephew to see a clown. But it's like maybe you've seen, I'm guessing for the majority of you, maybe once. Pushing it twice, unless you're, original. And we've certainly seen some portrayed on TV, but it's not super common. And so there's just like such a small amount of exposure. And so, if I were looking at someone who was in my life and starting to take jobs as a clown, I would probably project some weird things onto them because I've only seen sort of like weird people step into being a clown. But that doesn't mean that you have to be that person to be a clown. It's just that there's so little exposure, and so there's just like that projection we put onto that is really uninformed. And so any projections being put onto you are very uninformed just because there's been such a lack of exposure. And so maybe what's being projected onto either you or this question is coming from a place of just really, just like a massive lack of diverse understanding. And, I don't get the feeling that you even care, but I think that can help even just shed some light onto like having compassion or understanding about where those people are coming from, in case that might be needed. I don't think you care about projections on you, but I think it's helpful to understand how they come about. Anyway, but I do just feel like a fun, unique, fresh beat going on here. And I know that doesn't really give us a yes, no at all. So let's get into that. So this top row are your tarot cards, and we're going to flip these over to get insight into the yes, no, maybe here. So we've got 2 of voices in reverse, 2 of materials in reverse, and 6 of emotions upright. And look at this person marching to the beat of their own drum. But there's indecision. You're sitting on the fence with something, stalemate going on. Something is, even though I don't think that you're carrying what other people on the outside think, there's a tension within you. There's some indecision within you about how to move forward with this unique thing or with your question in general. It's like how to step into being this, and it could be even that thing for you, within you, that you're projecting maybe things onto whatever your question is or your own energy that aren't fair, that aren't realistic, because you also, this kind of beat, even though it's coming out of you and it's authentic to you, it's still new and novel. And so you may be placing some projections here from within you, not at all informed by other people. I really don't get the vibe that you care what their projections are or what they think. But you have your own projections you're needing to get through around this question that will help you get off the fence and decide which way you're wanting to go here. And these projections are stemming from childhood. They're stemming from things that you probably have fond memories of, but nonetheless, those experiences, just say, like, you know, to continue with that clown metaphor, maybe you did see a clown, you know, and relate this to your actual question, however makes sense. So like, say you saw a clown when you were little and you enjoyed that clown, you loved it and you thought it was the greatest thing and you have such a fond memory. But as an adult, all of a sudden realizing, like, hey, I kind of want to be a clown or be in the circus industry or something having to do with it, you're like, yeah, I loved that feeling, but and even though I enjoyed that so much, no one in my actual life ever was a clown. That was like, you know, like, who actually does that though? You know, someone that, you know, maybe you heard your parents whispering later that clown was actually like a drunk and kind of a creep and they shouldn't have brought him, but your experience of it was just like so purely fun, but you have like this little memory of like some judgment someone else placed on it. So I don't know if that could relate to your question in some way, like a fond memory on the one hand, but like some judgments others made about something from childhood or from when you were young on the other hand that are influencing you feeling stuck about how to kind of like own this and move forward with this, or really stand firmly in this question, like really own your question, I guess you could say. Man, so many of these questions are coming out as maybes. These are very complex readings this week. So it must be sort of a collective thing. A lot of us are sort of like grappling with certain probably internal things. Yeah, I mean, but that is what I'm getting. I'm getting that it's a maybe for you, and it's like you really need to go back into some kind of nostalgia, some sort of memory from childhood that might be informing this question, or underlying why this question is even here, and kind of just attached to the purity of what you're feeling drawn to here, and why there might be internal judgments within you here, that you can kind of go in and revisit that nostalgic memory, and sort of from a more adult, mature place, recognize that whatever judgment was placed from other people on something that might be stuck inside of you, it was their own projections too. Those judgments were in the past from projections as well. So a lot of layers of projections, personal projections, others' projections, projections made back in time that are like stuck in you now, both your own and others. It's a lot of, just like history of projections coming through here. So that's why it's a maybe. It's like you have some work to do to kind of figure out this inner tension, and how to either shed certain projections, or decide those projections fit for you, hence maybe it's not the right time or thing to move towards, type of thing. Let's see what the astrology can inform us about. 9th house, solar calm, Aquarius, collaborate. Yeah, this is your unique beat. There's something original coming out of you. And this is just saying, I'm not getting anything super new here. It's like you need to explore, you need to put things under a microscope from the past to understand where something is struggling to, like where a decision or really owning something here is stuck. And it's like, this is saying, if you do the work to continue looking, to continue exploring this question, and especially kind of like looking back in history and looking at projections, your own in the past, others in the past, your own now, others now, really putting those projections under the microscope and exploring them, you'll find that calm and that clarity come through that will give you that click in of alignment you need to make your decision or to own whatever this question is about. I hope that makes sense. Okay, let's look at your oracle cards. We've got dormant. Yeah, I just think you're needing to pause on this question and like look within, look back in history, do that exploration. It's like you can't move forward with this until you revisit the past and really look at projections here. And then we've got community. Yeah. So even if right now you don't care about how other people, what people think right now, you may have memories that's about how people cared in the past about something, how a certain community thought about something in your past, that is affecting you in the present. Even if you don't care what people in the present think, I think there's some hang up on what memories of what people thought in the past, that maybe people that were very influential to your development and your values. And so that it sounds weird, like a little counterintuitive, that things from those types of things from the past, that could be people you're not even in touch with anymore, inform so much of how you project in the present than being informed by current people in your life, their projections. Like, there's some nostalgic memories I really do think you need to revisit about how people in your past were projecting onto something. And I feel like onto something that you had positive projections onto, and then they had weird ones, and so it confused you, I think. This is a really specific reading, so if this doesn't make sense to you and is not resonating, I would definitely pick another pile, because this is, yeah, like a really specific message coming through. Okay, let's look at your tea leaves. Jug, lighthearted and carefree, and I feel like that is your general energy. But you need to get under that lightheartedness and that carefreeness, because there is like way, way, way deep down in some memories under the surface, there's something you're needing to look at. You need to get underneath that lighthearted feeling, because it's not allowing you to actually really own what you're asking about and move forward with making a decision here. And then dark woman, dealings or relationship with a woman with dark complexion or hair. So maybe this is someone from your past you need to think about, or maybe this is someone in your present that could be some kind of some sort of assistance further with your question, and being able to, like a counselor, or someone you can talk this out with and reminisce with even, or just someone that's a good listener. Whatever resonates to you. It might be the person you're needing to kind of revisit from memory, and go into memory and kind of see that memory from different eyes now, especially around this person, or it's someone in the present that I think can be like a great person to process with. Okay, so this is where I'm going to leave you guys. If this resonated, I always appreciate the little things, the thumbs up, kind and thoughtful comments are always appreciated, and definitely subscribe if you are not yet. All right, see you guys in future readings.